Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach. Today, I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. It's January 13th, a Monday. We're ready to go. I hope you're getting back to it. This is the time. I know we've kind of shaken off the start of the new year. We're coming to the middle of the month already, and it's time to pick up some momentum. With that being said, I want you to enjoy this process this year. This year, we've made Sundays our slow day, meaning let's slow it down and enjoy it. Let's not push too fast forward. Today's the 13th. Let's take the 13th on as we can take it on, okay? Really important we do that. Slow it down a little bit. We're in a due month. Don't have to do a lot of planning and organizing. If you're brand new with me, welcome. If you've been with me, awesome that you're here. You know what you should be doing, just step by step. Right? Take it step by step. We're going to continue to bring you resources. And with that being said, this week, we've got a great week planned. But before we do that, just remember your morning routine, your morning ritual. I want to take that time for self-care. Make sure you have some non-negotiables there this morning. Listen to the Coach Cast. Getting here as many times as a week as you can, 4 or 5 times is fantastic. Plan your day with the 7 Ps and really get the right perspective and set those daily priorities. Very important. And then organize yourself with the planner. And finally, stop by the community for accountability questions and support and the meetups that we're doing. So really excited this morning to start your day off with some great energy and consistency, which is really important. We are going to be spending time on focus and commitment this week. So committing to that consistency that we're doing, very important. We're going to start that off today. Tomorrow, we're going to continue with our book study on money for couples. No more stress, no more fights, just a 10-step plan to create your rich life together. Having some fun with that because we've got a lot of people that are worried, working on their financial situation this year, and there's some great tips in this book. And again, with book studies, we bring different books all the time. Just if you don't want to get the book, you don't have to. You can listen to Tuesday, take some notes, and take something away from it. Wednesday, we're back on track with Focus and Commit. We're going to be talking about staying consistent and the depth of that, and then what happens when you backslide. What happens, what we call, that's actually a Christian term of turning against Christ. That's where that came from years ago, but I've changed it and made it our own. We've owned that as like backsliding from your system, turning away from your system. Okay, that's really what this is about. It's like, okay, you took a couple days off, things aren't where they need to be. How do you get back? We're going to talk about that Wednesday, okay? Thursday, we got Ask JB, how do you determine what to work on? That's going to be a good day. It's one of those days where you're like, what should I be doing? I think I have all these things, but I really don't know what is important. We'll talk about that Thursday. Then Friday, waking up with energy and focus on good intentions. So we're going to talk about energy on Friday, really get you going, excited about that. Saturday is Dr. Paul, obviously longevity, anti-aging, health focus. I'm loving Saturdays. And then Sunday is now our new slow it down. And we're going to talk about how you can break up the day so you can really enjoy it. And we're doing a full Coach Cast. I used to take time on that and just do a real quick one. We're really going to slow down time this year. I really want to help you do that. It's been a struggle for me. Last year was the fastest year of my life, and I don't want that. I want to enjoy this process with you. I want to enjoy this life. And we're going to continue to press forward with that. Okay, so exciting. We've got the community going on. If you get a chance to step on there, we've got a lot of new people. Love to hear from you. We've got a lot of meetups going on. You can go over there and check it out. I've got one with Dr. Paul. We're going to be doing longevity and health. That planner is being worked on by our designers. It's taking us a little longer because we want to make it great. And I'll give you more information in the future. But today, we are going to talk about a focus on commitment, right? And how do we get committed to things? And the truth is that one of the problems with commitment that so many people have today is, again, this idea of time, right? So we're going to get into this on Sunday, but you're moving so fast and you're not getting the results. And so you're constantly changing. In fact, when I consult with companies, one of the big things we talk about is the way that they're managing expectations and their goals. And back in the day, before computers, we go all the way back, you used to be able to manage like annually. It'd be like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to turn this ship? And what are we going to do to make improvements? Then it went to like quarterly, and quarterly was a big thing is in the 80s, right? The 80s were like, let's have management meetings and let's look and see what we're doing and how can we make adjustments quarterly. Nowadays, literally, there are companies that are making adjustments on a daily basis, even hourly, with algorithms and AI. It's crazy. And for us to really live a life that's amazing and to enjoy this process of life, which is just not about analyzing and planning all the time, we have to slow down and we have to be careful of this instantaneous gratification. And we have to be careful of the instantaneous idea that I'm not seeing results immediately, so I need to make a change. And the truth is, on most of the things we're doing, when we're working together, this is why you got to commit over time, is it's going to take time. I like to use weight loss as an example. You know, people will come to me and I want to lose weight, and they're my age, 55 years old. And I'll be like, look, you haven't done anything in 55 years old. Don't have this expectation you're going to lose all this weight next week. Like, it's going to take time. Might not take 55 years, but it's going to take time for your body to change and you to adapt and adaptation to occur. And so many people, get lost because they go down a path. They think they know what they're going down. And that's why we spend so much time on mission, the critical mission of what you're going to do. And they think they're going down the right path, but then it isn't the path they want. Just like when I wrote my book initially, Get Out of Neutral, I thought that I wanted to go out and be a speaker. But when I realized by going to the National Speakers Association and meeting really successful speakers, and I'm not talking about famous, like past presidents and athletes, and, I opened a keynote, closed a keynote in affiliate summit with Joe Theismann. Joe Theismann could get up there and he could just talk about football exploits. I had to talk about, actually give value because nobody who I was. So people that aren't famous, quote unquote, you have to work as a speaker, and most of those people are out on the road 300 days a year. And if you know anything about me, that's not me. I don't want to do that. I'm introverted. I want to be in my cave. I don't want to be out. Now that I'll do it once in a while. I did Cartagena last year for 5,000 people. I'll do it once in a while, but it's not something that I want to do 300 days a year. So here I was going down this path, and I had to make significant changes years ago because that's not what I wanted to do. I thought I did, right? And we all go through that. So my point is here, we need to focus on understanding who you're going to become, which is our vision, our mission of what we're going to do this year, right? Which we're doing, but we also have to make sure we give things time. You can go out and plant an acorn that'll grow into an oak tree, right? And if you go out there and you yell at it and scream at it and you cuss at it, it's not going to grow any faster. But if you give it love and you pour some water on it and you give it some love, it's going to grow. It's going to take some time. There'll be a seedling, then it'll start to grow. And year after year, it gets bigger and bigger. There might be some drought. There might be some negative things that happen. But eventually, you got this wonderful oak tree 20, 30 years later. So you'll hear me say this a lot, but we truly overestimate what we can do in a short amount of time. We underestimate what we can do in a long amount of time. And this system inherently is here to help you gain clarity, to critically think about your own life, and then give you the ideas and thoughts that you can consistently do to build this wonderful life that's yours. Nobody else's. It's not mine. It's not anybody in Morning Coach. It's yours. And so we've got to get that mission clear, which you're working on or have, okay? And if you need help with that, please feel free to get in the community and talk to others. We have so many cool people. And we need to build an organizational system that works for you. Ben's in there. Ray, some new members are great putting in new ideas and thoughts. I absolutely love it when you contribute. It just makes my life so much better. This is a community-driven system. I am not the smartest person in the room. I'm the facilitator and the organizer. We have a lot of very smart people in Morning Coach. So as you're looking at your system and going, okay, what do I want to build? How do I want to make this work? It takes time. But as you analyze it and as you work on it, eventually you have this wonderful system that's uniquely yours. And then we're supplementing it, right, with philosophy, ideas, and thoughts that are going to help you have the energy and the consistency to do it day in and day out. But if you need help with your system, I'm telling you, jump in the community because somebody there will have an idea or a thought of something that even I might not have. And you might go, wow, that works with me. You do pencil and paper with that, right? That's pretty cool. So what I want you to do is slow down on Sundays. We've talked about that. But I also want to have you slow down in your mornings. I've sped up. I'm a speed person. I told you about the magic of thinking big. I love that book. I read it when I was real young, and it was like, walk 2 times faster than anybody else. And I think that served me in my life. It really did. I was able to have energy and do things and, blow up in the corporate community when I was in my 30s and run companies and then build this business. But where it's hindered me is the enjoyment of life. It's hindered me in being able to slow down and look at what is really important and focus on those things. Where my mistakes have been made over the years has been not the ability to say no and to be more of a people pleaser and try to continue to create value, which I absolutely love and I'm going to continue to do. That part of me is never going to leave. But the ability to say no, what is really important, and enjoy it. Enjoy this process. Slow it down. Like I said, today's the 13th. Some people say it's unlucky. Well, maybe it's unlucky, but I don't believe in that stuff. I don't like beliefs that don't serve me. Like, if you break a mirror, you got 7 years bad luck. I don't want 7 years bad luck. So get away from me. Or a black cat crosses your path, you're going to have bad luck that day. Well, I'm screwed because I have a black cat here, Morpheus, that lives with me and Neo and Pilar, right? So a black cat crosses my path every day. Bottom line is, I don't want beliefs that don't support what I believe. And what I believe is that we have this ability to live an amazing life if we slow it down. We get out of our own minds a little bit, right? Get some structure to what we're doing and then proceed with that direction with consistency. And if you just use a little common sense, let's just use common sense, which is rare these days, right? But let's use some common sense. If you pick a target and you start marching towards that target, you are going to get better. It's impossible unless you don't do anything. But if you're moving towards some area and you're working on getting better, and specifically like in our system, the two main areas were actually three, getting you organized, focused on your wealth and health are big parts of what we're doing here, right? So if we focus on the organizational piece and you work a little bit on that, you're going to get better. If we focus on the wealth piece and maybe even lifestyle design, which is what we do in the summers. So for those of you that are brand new, we start going into expertise model and some really cool things in the summer before we get back to planning, but and now obviously expanding into health. But if you work on these areas and we work a little bit on getting that structure in place and we work a little bit on our wealth and we work a little bit on our health, you're going to get better. You will get better if you focus on that 1% improvement every day. So if we slow it down, this is a great time. It's a great time. We're not going to do a check. Remember, February is our check, but it's a great time to get a feel of your commitment level. Are you committed to a process? That's the real secret. My biggest blessing was that I have to do this episode every day, 5,575 of them. Okay, now I do batch a few of them, but I have to do it. It's changed my life. It's my biggest curse because I have to show up and do it, right? So the blessing is there, but the curse is there because I have to do it. But the blessings outweigh it because it's the man and the person I'm becoming that is changing me. All this study and the wonderful community and the wonderful people that I'm meeting day in and day out, whether it's MorningCoach or masterminds, I'm learning so much. I'm so blessed. And by slowing down and having that appreciation is what's so key. So I want to end with this. So the day focus in the planner is really critical, okay? So if you look at the planner and you go to the top page of the day, and I know not everybody's using a planner, but if you are, okay, and even if you're not, I want you to think about this concept. If we can start the day off with a focus, it really makes a difference. So why is that there? Do I just put organization? What do I put there? No, what we got to do with that focus is we got to put what you're going to do, okay? So it's much easier. I'm writing books, right? So as you know, so it's much easier to write 500 words than it is to write a book. So when I have in my consistency area writing, that means I'm writing my 1,000 words a day. Sometimes I'll actually put that in the sacred 6 area because it is a project, but my focus needs to be there. Like, so a lot of times it's like, just write 500 words and it shifts instead of, oh my gosh, I got to do all this work. Or not drinking. This was a good one. My buddy Steve taught me this. Look, I'm not against it. It just doesn't work for me. I've mentioned that enough on the CoachCast. So when I go to my day's focus, I'm like, I'm not going to drink today. You know what? It's so easy not to drink today. I just make that decision. I put in there, I'm going to be healthy today. I'm going to make a smoothie today. It's so easy to do things today instead of doing things over time. So here's where I want your focus to be, okay, as we talk about focus commitment. Number one, commit to this. Give this a year at least, okay, at least. The second thing is to focus on what you have, not what you don't have, okay? We remind you that a lot, but it's really important that that's our basis. And the third thing is look at the areas that you're committed to and say, okay, what can I do today to make sure I stay on that commitment level? So that's where that day's focus up on top can be really powerful in our planning system, because it allows you to say, okay, I'm focused on working on my pilot's license. It's much easier to study weather, okay, which is a pain in the butt, today than it is to say, okay, I'm going to read all these books and understand weather. So if you could get your ability to focus and then commit on a few things that you're really going to accomplish this year, and that is what your mission, what you're going to do, and your vision on who you're going to become, you can commit. And so for me, I'm committed to a 3-hour and 30-minute marathon. I'm going to do my best to get that out of the way, all right? I'm committed to writing my books this year, 2 of them, Sober Weekends, and I got another one that I'm working on, more on that coming later. And I'm fired up about it. And so those are really some major commitments besides growing Morning Coach in my mastermind and things that I'm doing outside of that. So once you understand it, these systems will work for you. But again, stepping back, this is why we have a community. That's why it's a coaching system like nothing else out there. Okay, we've built this in a different way than anything else because it's affordable. You're not having to pay thousands of dollars. You just have to show up, okay, and work your system. And here's the key. It's your system. You've got to individualize it as you do this. We'll give you best practices. But again, you may go in the community and learn from somebody else a best practice. Like Haley might tell you something like in your writing that would just blow you away. And you're like, okay, that's a best practice. Okay, so don't feel that, you're not alone is my point. We've got me, we've got the community. If you need help, we're here. But again, let's just slow it down. What are we doing? We're committing. So number 1, commit to the system. Number 2, understand and focus today on what you have, not what you don't have. Number 3, then work on your daily focus. What is going to make the most impact today in the big picture? And again, like writing a book or not drinking or flying or working on your business in some particular thing, that's where that day's focus comes in. And then we commit day in and day out to making your system better. What is working for you? What isn't working for you? Letting us know so we can build and work with you to make sure your system is individually unique to you or your organization if we're working with you and your employees in your organizational system. Okay? So let's get out there and kick butt today. It's going to be a great day. We are now in it. January 13th. Let's go do it together. But remember, slow it down also. Please enjoy this process. It's really important you enjoy life. Why we do this. Joy is such a big, important part of life. Okay, I love you. I'll be back tomorrow right here on MorningCoach.com.